All right, thanks so much, Griffin. And if you're just now tuning in, we are entering into, or already have, I should say, our 5th hour of wall-to-wall coverage, and we're going to continue to remain with you throughout the remainder of this storm. And I've been told that Nathaniel, Scott, and Mandy are all outside, and I think that they're ready. We're going to go back out to them to check the current outdoor conditions.
Hey guys, yeah, we're outside in our own backyard here in Webb, Alabama, and I'm joined with Nathaniel Rodriguez and our chief meteorologist, Scott Roberts, and we're going to get to them in just a minute, but I want to show you the current conditions outside right now here in Webb, Alabama, and you can see how we pointed out to our parking lot. Still some rain just steadily coming, light to moderate rain. The wind has picked up a little bit. Now, if you look at the trees, though, they're not bending over just yet, but there's a little bit of gust that'll bend these smaller trees. So that's kind of an idea, though, for your cars. If you're put right now in your house or your apartments, you might want to move your car away from any trees or anything like that so tree limbs don't fall down or those trees don't come down on them as well before things get a little crazy. Right now, it's still kind of quiet out here. Like I said, winds is picking up. You can see a little bit of water in our parking lot beginning to collect as well, but things are only going to slowly start to deteriorate as we go throughout our morning. And like I said, I'm joined now with Nathaniel Rodriguez. He's our digital content producer, and also he's a part of the WDHN Storm team. And you just got here recently. Where did you come from?
I just came back from my home at Enterprise. This
How
is kind
are
of
the road conditions there?
Road conditions. So right now things are pretty safe to travel, especially along Highway 84. Visibility is still pretty good. The rain's not coming down too hard as of right now. The wind is not pushing too much, so you shouldn't be at too much of a risk of losing control of any vehicles. Debris, not that much. I will say, pools of water are starting to form inside cities on those smaller roads with those banks along the sides, the curbs.
Right.
So watch out for those as you're driving, as well as animals. I saw some animals starting to move about, trying to find a place to hide from the storm in.
Right.
So also keep an eye out for those kinds of things, because you don't want to add to the risk factor of hitting an animal, lose control of your vehicle in these wet road conditions, and then possibly ending up stranded in a ditch.
Right, that's a good point that you brought up, some new points that you brought up. And of course, I know you just said that some of our reporters were on 231 South and they had a little bit slicker roadways there. So again, the conditions just going to continue to deteriorate throughout the morning. Now we're going to go over to Chief Meteorologist Scott Roberts, and he just now joined us because he's going to be here all night into the morning hours.
Yeah, so I'm home. I am home.
He is home for the day, but what are your thoughts as the chief meteorologist, and you've been seeing this thing just intensify rapidly throughout the morning, and it looks like, you know, the pressure is continuing to drop.
Yeah, as far as that, I mean, it's not a huge surprise to us by any stretch of the imagination that this storm became stronger. We were watching it last night that, yeah, it did have that possibility. And one thing that's going to help us in the short term is as that storm gets a little bit closer to shore, the window for it strengthening significantly more is going to be closing a bit. So we probably won't see a storm much stronger than what we're dealing with now. I think the only thing that would probably cause it to strengthen further rapidly before making landfall right now is if that eye wall were to contract just a bit before hitting land. And basically what that will do is it's going to treat, the storm's going to act like a figure skater, where they bring in their arms and they spin really fast at the end. That does happen with storms occasionally, oftentimes smaller storms than what we're dealing with, but it's not out of the realm of possibilities for us. But even with that said, I don't anticipate it being significantly stronger than what we're dealing with. And then the next thing with that is, how quickly does it weaken for us once it's on shore? That's going to be the big thing that we're going to be watching. It is picking up a little bit breezy. Not quite the tropical storm force just yet, but we're going to be getting there as we head into the later morning, closer to lunchtime, and going beyond that. That's when we will really start to see those conditions deteriorate, especially from south to north. South first, then further north as we go later on. So we have the next advisory coming out in just a little less than an hour at 10 o'clock. We'll be bringing that to you, and we'll see what kind of changes happen from it with that pressure dropping.
Yeah, I said though, this is a catastrophic storm. I mean, it just kind of evolved from tropical depression to a major event and just continues to get stronger. But for you, as a chief, what would you say to people, or what are some of the greatest concerns that people should be aware of for today?
I think the greatest concern is getting to that safe place. If you don't, right now, if you don't feel safe where you are, if you don't feel safe on a normal day with afternoon thunderstorms coming through, you might want to consider getting to a sturdier structure right now. There's still time to go, while conditions still now, as they are, relatively calm compared to where they will be. So that's going to be the biggest thing for people. And if you don't feel safe, do what you need to do to feel safe and stay there for the duration of the storm.
That's right, and there you heard it from our chief, and of course we're going to be with you all day long, and we'll be here for you all through the night, all through the morning hours as well, so I'm going to throw it back to you there in the studio.
Beckman. I have a very serious question for you, Mandy, if you can hear me. Oscar wants to know, how is it that you're outside and remaining dry?
Remaining dry. Well, we have this cover. If you look up, we have a cover, so I'm not actually in the rain. I do need an umbrella or a rain jacket. I guess a rain jacket out here. Scott, our camera guy back there, was telling me that I need the rain jacket so we can actually go out into the rain and show you a little bit. When it gets a little bit heavier, when the rain gets a little bit heavier and that wind starts to pick up, we'll go ahead and go out there and kind of show you some of the conditions, but also stay safe because we're here in our own backyard right out in the back door of our station. So, of course, we're keeping it safe, but also trying to show you what the current conditions are. And, of course, I'll throw on a rain jacket later and show you a little bit when that wind picks up and when the rain gets a little bit heavier also.
We're
Tanya.
just joking around, trying to incorporate some humor here.